Om Sarvadharmasthapakatvam Sarvadharmaswarupakaha Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Sri Ramakrishna, we saw during our last session, had come to Suren Mitra's house to attend the Jagadhatri Puja. And he met the elder brother of Surendra, the brother who was a judge. And placed in a very, very high position in the society. After all, he is a judge, a big man with authority, man could be with such a high, very high social status for that matter. So Sri Ramakrishna thought, okay, I will give him a piece of advice, a piece of teaching of my own. And then Sri Ramakrishna had told him, look, it is very good. You are a judge. You are in such a high position. But always remember, who has made you the judge? Always remember, never ever forget the source because of whom you are in that position. And then Sri Ramakrishna gave that example of the water falling from the spout, which was made of like a head of a lion or a head of a tiger, head of a cow. And the water, rainwater which is falling on the rooftop is collected through the pipes and falling down from those spouts made in the shape of a lion's mouth. It is not the lion's mouth through which the water is coming, Sri Ramakrishna says. Just think about the origin from where the water has come. Originally, the water was there in the clouds. Then it rained. Then the rooftop got flooded, and that collected water passing through all those pipelines is now coming out from the spout which is fixed in the corner of the rooftop. It is not that the water is coming from it. Water is coming from there. But what is the origin? What is the source? The water in the clouds. So Sri Ramakrishna says, yes, you are in that position. But always remember, because of who has placed you in that position? The person who has placed you in that position can remove you from that position anytime he wishes. So always be grateful. Always be in a prayerful mood to the one who has put you in that position. So that was Sri Ramakrishna's teaching, and then he spoke about the caste distinctions, that these can be removed only through the love of God. How Chaitanya embraced all, and he never Chaitanya Dev, when out of that fervor for the spiritual, for the divine love, he embraced all alike. Whether he was a Brahmin or a Pariya, Sri Chaitanya Deva never discriminated. He never had any distinction between high and low. That is the power of the divine love, Sri Ramakrishna says. Only that divine love, only that prema bhakti will eliminate the caste differences. That's what he had taught. And then finally he had told the gathering over there that members of Brahmo Samaj sing the name of Hari. That is very good. Through earnest prayers, one receives the grace of God and realizes Him. And then ultimately Sri Ramakrishna had commented that God can be realized through all the paths. You can reach a destination from any path you choose. Ultimately, all the paths, they end up at the same destination. We may look, oh, this path is going like this path is going like this path is a rather easier one, let us follow this path. But it is not so, that all the paths, they may look different. They may look so very different from each other. But Sri Ramakrishna says, all the paths, they take you to the same goal, to the same destination. So that was the teaching Sri Ramakrishna gave at the place of Surendra during that Jagadhatri Puja. Now we come on to another gathering. This is another gathering at Manilal Malik's house. Manilal Malik's house in Calcutta. So all the way from Dakshineshwar, Sri Ramakrishna has come to Manilal Malik's house in Calcutta, and there the Brahmos have gathered together to celebrate another annual festival of the Brahmos. Now, Vijay Krishna Goswami is there. He is going to conduct the worship that day. Regarding Vijay Krishna Goswami, we have earlier also we have come across him. We have met him when Sri Ramakrishna had gone on that steamer ride with Keshav Chandra Sen. And incidentally, Keshav Chandra Sen and Vijay Krishna Goswami, they had parted their ways. Once upon a time, great friends. They had parted their ways over differences of certain way of functioning. And now they were very uncomfortable to be with each other. But Sri Ramakrishna, he brought them together. He could not see the brothers parting their ways just like that. And then he had told that story of how Rama and Shiva, they had fought at some point of time. And thereafter, they had forgotten that fight. They have become great friends. They have become great admirers of each other. Rama worshipping Shiva, Shiva worshipping Rama, and all that. But Sri Ramakrishna says their followers, the monkey Sena of Ram, and all those ghosts and pishacha of Shiva, they have been fighting all together all this time. Whereas that enmity, that friction between Rama and Shiva is all over. They're all together, but they're followers. So that's what in a lighter moment, Sri Ramakrishna spoke about the followers of these two Brahmo groups, one led by Keshav Chandra and one led by Vijay Goswami. So coming back to today's topic, this Brahmo Samaj festival, Vijay Krishna Goswami is going to conduct the worship. And then they had arranged some Kathak recitation of from the Puranas. That Kathak, the storyteller, these are the people who narrate the stories from the scriptures, from the old scriptures, Puranas, in a very melodious way. So he was talking about that Kathak. He was talking about the life of Prahlada, the great devotee of Lord Vishnu, how his father had the Hiranyakashipu had made the son's life so miserable, and he had in fact even ordered that you get rid of this fellow. Why he is all the time praising and singing the glories of that Vishnu? I am greater than Vishnu. That is what Hiranyakashipu used to say. And then Prahlada prayed to God. That this is the story that storyteller is telling. He prayed to God, oh God, please give my father holy inclinations. Look at this, the pity that the son is having for a father. He's praying to God that God, please forgive him. He doesn't know what he's saying. Please give him holy inclination towards your feet. So that is the story, and the entire atmosphere had become so emotional. And since that entire narration was about Bhakta Prahlad, the great devotee Prahlad, now Sri Ramakrishna starts telling about the Bhakti and other aspects to this Brahmo gathering. Sri Ramakrishna says, Bhakti is the essential thing. One obtains love of God by constantly chanting His name and singing His glories. That is the only way of developing, generating this devotion. Chant the name constantly. Whether you're counting the chanting or not, don't worry about counting or no counting. Just keep on chanting the name of the Lord that you have received. Keep on singing the glories of the God. And Sri Ramakrishna says, these are the activities which are going to sprout that divine love in your heart. And then Sri Ramakrishna says that one should not think my religion alone is true. One should not think that the practices that I am following only is true, and other religions are false. Now Sri Ramakrishna having spoken about developing the bhakti through singing the praises of the Lord, through chanting the name of the Lord. Now, there can be various ways of chanting the name. There are various names of gods. Every religion has distinct name of the God. So, when we chant the name of God as per my tradition, if somebody else is chanting the name of God as per his or her tradition, these are not to be taken separately. These are not to be taken adversely. My way and his or her way, both are same. If I'm following certain religious practices and that person is following certain religious practices, that doesn't mean that my practices are superior and the other person, the practices followed by the other person are inferior. It is not so. Sri Ramakrishna says that his name, whichever religion we take that name, all the names are same and all the religions are equal. So, God can be realized by means of all paths. It is enough to have sincere yearning for God. Whether I am following God through this path and that person is following God through that path, they are all same. Provided we have that sincere yearning for the God in our hearts. Infinite are the paths and infinite the opinions of people. Don't go by all those differences. Don't think about those different paths. There are infinite paths. It is not just one or two or three or four religions. Religions could be infinite. As many faiths, so many paths. So, Sri Ramakrishna always used to give this particular instruction that chant the name of Lord. The way you are chanting, continue it. If somebody else is chanting the name of the Lord in another manner, don't consider that as inferior. That is his or her way. Stick to your way and with most sincere yearning, keep on chanting the name of the Lord, keep on singing the glories of the Lord, and then that divine love will sparkle in your heart. Then Sri Ramakrishna says to all this Brahmo gathering that they might be having this doubt whether God can be seen or not, because earlier gatherings also some Brahmo devotee had asked Sri Ramakrishna whether God can be seen. And here Sri Ramakrishna says, again, comes to that same point. He says, let me tell you one thing. God can be seen. With such confirmation, with such, strength, Sri Ramakrishna strongly tells that God can be seen. The Vedas say that God is beyond mind and speech. The meaning of this is that God is unknown to the mind, attached to the worldly objects. Till the mind is attached to the worldly objects, till the mind is getting tempted by these worldly attractions, we cannot have this vision of God. And therefore the Vedas say mind is beyond, the God is beyond mind and speech. The moment the person is entangled in the worldly temptations, he cannot realize God because his entire life is governed by mind and speech. And mind and speech, Sri Ramakrishna again and again has told us that they cannot take us to Brahman. And till the time these are active, till the time the mind is attracted towards the worldly objects, that and the senses are attracted. Speech means not figuratively only the speech part of our senses, all the senses. Till the time the senses are drawn towards sense objects, God cannot be seen. And that's why Vedas say that God cannot be seen through mind and speech. God cannot be realized through mind and speech. If we have to see the God, the mind must be one focus. Only single focus towards the lotus feet of the Lord and nowhere else in these worldly temptations. So that is what now the advice Sri Ramakrishna is saying. That The God is known by the mind and intellect that are pure. There are no distractions towards worldly temptations, and it is a singular focus towards the lotus feet of the Lord. Therefore, it is necessary, and Sri Ramakrishna says, this can also be achieved through the holy company, through the satsang. And therefore, Sri Ramakrishna says, therefore, it is necessary to seek the company of holy men, practice prayer, and listen to the instructions of the Guru. Whatever Guru has told you, follow those instructions meticulously, wholeheartedly, sincerely, without having any doubt on the words of the Guru. Following these, the focus on listening to the instructions of the Guru and company of the holy men, the practicing prayers and singing the glories of the Lord, Sri Ramakrishna says these acts, they purify the mind. Once the mind is purified, once the mind is trained not to get allured by the temptations of the worldly attractions, then one sees one's reflection in it. Then one sees the God in the world. Then one gets the vision of the God. These acts that Sri Ramakrishna has narrated, like company of holy men, practicing prayers, all these acts, Sri Ramakrishna says, they act to purify our mind. And how to purify how it works. Now Sri Ramakrishna gives two very simple and most practical examples. Sri Ramakrishna says that the dirt can be removed from water by purifying agent. Now with water is dirty. We are not able to see anything what lies at the bottom of that water body. What we have to do? We have to take a purifying agent like alum. Alum, when it is kept in water, when we just shake that alum in the water, all the dirt and impurity, it gets separated. And once it gets separated, once all the impurity is taken aside, then we can clearly see what lies at the bottom. Then the water is sparkling clear. That is one example Sri Ramakrishna has given, how these acts of chanting the name of the Lord, getting into the holy company, how they help us in purifying our mind. Like the purifying alum clears the dirt from the water. And then Sri Ramakrishna gives another example, that how the dust on a mirror, once cleared, one can see the reflection. That one cannot see one's face in a mirror if the mirror is covered with dirt. So if the mirror is covered with dirt, we can't clean the mirror with a nice wet and clean cloth. Remove that dirt, and once that dirt is removed, then we see our reflection in the mirror. So Sri Ramakrishna says, this so much of dirt is collected on our heart, which is the temple of the Lord. We have to remove that dirt. And how we can remove that dirt? We can remove that dirt by chanting the name of the Lord, by getting into the company of holy men, by getting into satsanga, by singing the glories of the Lord. With all these acts, we are polishing, we are cleaning the dirt from the mirror of our heart, and then we can see the Lord beautifully sitting on the throne in our heart. So this is what, after purification of the heart, one obtains divine love. So these are the ways Sri Ramakrishna has given us, the ways of purifying the heart, and how it acts. That also example Sri Ramakrishna has given. And now he says that once the heart is purified, once the mind is purified, then one obtains divine love. Then one sees God through his grace. One can teach others if one receives that command. And then, once the heart is purified, once one sees Lord sitting there in the heart, then he or she, they get command to teach. And Sri Ramakrishna has been telling Brahmos all along that Teaching after getting command of God will only give some result. Otherwise, people will listen to you. Next day, they will forget. Sri Ramakrishna says, before getting that command from the God, one should not lecture at all. And then he quoted that song that he had sung earlier also while telling us the story of that Podo who had not cleaned the temple, who had not removed the bats, all the bat droppings, the 6 bats. He had not taken care of that. Those bats don't litter the place. And he has just started blowing the conch, and people thought he's conducting worship or something, but nothing. There was no deity. There was the temple was not cleaned. And then Sri Ramakrishna sang that portion of the song. You have set up no image here within the shrine, O fool. Blowing the conch, you simply make confusion worse confounded. Why you are unnecessarily blowing the conch? Why you are unnecessarily giving the lectures without purifying your mind? First purify the mind, then give the lectures. Then you should first cleanse the shrine of your heart, Sri Ramakrishna says. Then you should install the deity and arrange the worship. As yet nothing has been done. What can you achieve by simply blowing the conch shell? What can you achieve by simply lecturing and talking and preaching and all these things? Simply making a loud noise, Sri Ramakrishna says. First, get the command from the God. Purify your heart and mind. Get the command from the God and then get into all these activities. Now, Vijay, who was going to perform the worship that day, he performed the worship and he came and sat with Sri Ramakrishna. Apparently, during the worship, he must have worshipped. Brahmos usually they worshipped, with some prayers like, "Oh, I am the sinner, please forgive me," and all that. So there's some of the prayers. Now, Sri Ramakrishna asked Vijay Krishna, "Will you tell me one thing? Why did you harp so much on sin?" Sri Ramakrishna never liked this attitude, this way of Brahmos praying, "Forgive me of my sins. I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner." Sri Ramakrishna says, why you keep on harping so much on sin? By repeating 100 times, "I am sinner, I am sinner, I am sinner," one verily becomes a sinner. Sri Ramakrishna says, one should have such faith as to be able to say, "What? I have taken the name of God. How can I be a sinner?" Sri Ramakrishna says, never ever keep on repeating, "I am sinner, I am sinner, I am sinner." No. Have that strong faith that I have taken the name of the Lord. How can I be sinner? God is our father and mother. Tell him, "Oh Lord, I have committed sins, but I won't repeat them. I have committed, yes, I accept. I have committed, but I won't repeat them." And then chant his name and purify your body and mind. Purify your tongue by singing God's holy name, and that sin, whatever sinful activities you might have conducted, you might have done, they won't cling to you anymore. Chant the name of the Lord and all your sins fly away like birds from the branches of the tree. When they fly away, when one starts making a big noise under that tree. So chant the name of the Lord and all these birds of sin, they will fly away from the tree of your personality. You will be no more a sinner, and have that strong faith. Sri Ramakrishna says, he always tells Brahmos on this particular thing. Never say, "I am a sinner." Chant the name of the Lord. Purify your mind, and let's see how that sin still clings to you. No sin will cling. You won't be anymore a sinner. You will be a devotee with the love of God in your heart. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.